Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked out American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Maryland Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Maryland Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Maryland Law Group, and American Contractor. You guys can go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. We want to, as always, give a big thanks to them for all that they do. So for our weather stories for today, we're going to have hail chances sticking to the north, kind of similar to what we saw yesterday from Montana all the way into Minnesota and Wisconsin area. We've got some hail risks for you guys. And then into tomorrow, those risks are going to stick through the Midwest and then push a little bit farther south into the Central Plains. So we could possibly see a hail chance for Minneapolis or Sioux Falls. And then last but not least, once again, we've got a tropical update for you guys. We have now Tropical Storm Ida. We did get our I name yesterday out of this system, and it is continuing to strengthen as it moves towards the Gulf of Mexico. So we are going to give you guys an update on that if you are in the track of that storm. But before we get into our weather stories, here's our upcoming event for the next couple of months here. This is the only one to talk about, but it's a really exciting event for you guys. So we're at the Thunder Road Race for Recovery. We are actually hosting this, and it's a charity event. 100% of the proceeds are going to Roofers in Recovery. So it's a great cause. It's gonna be so much fun racing really fast go-karts. Guys, these things do not mess around. So if you guys want to be a part of that, it is going to be in Norman, Oklahoma at the Oklahoma Motorsports Complex on September 15th. So you can race in that. You can also sign up to sponsor, and all that can be done through the link in this video as well. Now into yesterday. So we had, like I said, all the way from Montana into Minnesota, Wisconsin, and then just a scattering of wind reports through the Ohio Valley and the East Coast. So let's just jump right in here. So we had, like I said, hail and wind through Montana. We kind of saw that risk from yesterday, all the way into the Dakotas, and then a line of hail and wind chances all the way up into Minnesota, as well as Missouri and Illinois, mostly scattered wind through there. And then if we jump on over to the East Coast, again, just a scattering of winds, mostly sub-severe, but we did get a strong gust here and there with those storms yesterday afternoon. Then for today, we're going to see a kind of similar risk area. We might start to see things ramp up a little bit over the next day or two for hail as well as wind. So we've got, first, before we get into our hail and wind risks for today, I do want to talk to you guys about Tropical Storm Ida and just show you what it looks like on radar, and then we'll talk about the rest at the end of the show. But here's what we got for Ida. You can kind of see that spin through the Caribbean as it gets its way to move over Cuba and into the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, we recorded a wind gust of over 85 miles an hour. Actually, that was sustained wind of over 85 miles per hour with the Hurricane Hunter aircrafts that are investigating this right now. So we are already seeing hurricane force winds with this storm. We're just waiting to declare it an official hurricane as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico. But this is Storm Ida right now, really getting ready to ramp up as it moves into our neck of the woods. Then back to land, back to our northern plains risks. So this is where we're going to be sitting for today. We've got a little bit of cloud cover moving through Montana, the Dakotas, and then things pick up a little bit once we get into Minnesota and Wisconsin. Got a lot of rain moving through there. I know you guys had a loud night last night. Going to probably be kind of a repeat of that into this afternoon and evening. So as these move out of the way, we're going to get that daytime heating, and that's going to help us get some storms churning along as we get another cold front that continues to sink back down. It's just sunk back down through the day, pulled back up at night, and it's continuing that process through this area, and so we keep getting repeat storms through that area for the next couple of days. So then, for our current temperatures, you can see that cold front here. Here is that nice green. That's going to be all of that beautiful, cool air that's moving in behind that cold front that's fueling our storms into this afternoon and evening. So we got 71 degrees in Bismarck, 65 in Billings, 75 in Sioux Falls, and then we jump down into the 80s once we get south of that cold front. So like I said, going to help us fuel some of those storms later on into this afternoon and evening, and that's got all sorts of instability sitting in front of it. Plenty of fuel for storms to develop. So what's that look like on radar? Here's what we got. So there's all those rain chances that are still kind of lingering through the area that we saw on satellite a second ago, and those are going to kind of continue to just sprinkle some showers through the area into the afternoon and evening. But then by 5 p.m., starting to get some isolated storms moving through the northern part of Iowa as well as Montana here. We've got a couple of loner storms up through the northern part as well as near the Billings area, and those could develop into some stronger storms later this afternoon. As those roll along, we kind of get, again, just scattered through Montana, probably not going to do much early on. It's more into the late night hours that we start to see our hail chances pick up through that area. However, through the Minneapolis area by 7:30, more loud thunderstorms for you guys, could get some sub-severe hail, possibly quarters and $50, as well as some hail chances through the northern part of Iowa. And then as we move along, that's just going to continue to band up, push off through the Minnesota-Wisconsin area. And then if you look behind me here, we've got Bismarck, and we've got a couple of loner storms moving through there by 10 p.m. These could be supercells bringing a tornado chance as well as strong winds and a large hail with that as well. So those are going to be pretty short-lived, move through the Bismarck area, get kind of messy, and then dissipate by around 3:30 into just some general showers. However, while they are around, they could wreak some havoc through the southwest part of North Dakota. So then we also do have a risk for you guys if you are back in Pennsylvania and Virginia, kind of similar again to what we saw yesterday. We're just getting that repeat risk. So all the way through the eastern part of Pennsylvania, got those isolated storms through DC area and into the north central part of Virginia. A couple of loner storms, not a ton of instability through the area, so probably not going to do a ton of large hail. However, we could get some gusty winds as well as a quarter or $50 here and there as those storms pass through the area into the late night hours, into the early morning. And then again, mostly gusty winds with those. So here's what we got for our hail chances. All the way from Wisconsin down into Minnesota, Iowa, quarters to $50 for you, with a zone of higher instability through the southern part of Minnesota. We'll get into the city-specific forecast in a second here. Quarters to $50 all the way through central Dakotas into the central part of Montana, with, again, an area of higher instability through the Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota border region. So if you guys are in Billings, if you guys are in Rapid City, or if you guys are in Glasgow, quarters to $50 for you. I don't think there's a ton of metro areas through this area with the ping pong to golf ball sized hailstones possible with those supercells. And then again, they are going to move through the Bismarck area later on in the evening and into the overnight hours. However, through this area, pretty rural, ping pong to golf balls possible for you. Then moving eastward into our Minnesota and Wisconsin risk, if you guys are in Des Moines, quarters to $50 again possible for you guys with some of those storms that are going to pop up later on this afternoon. Then if we move up into La Crosse and just south of Minneapolis, that's where we see our highest level of instability along with that cold front sinking through. So that's where you're likeliest to get some hail as well as possible large hail in the ping pong to golf ball range. However, most of this area is going to be limited to quarters. But if you guys are looking for your likeliest chance to see hail, that's going to be through this red region or this orange region. La Crosse, you guys are in that, as well as Green Bay and just the northeast or northwest end of Milwaukee. So that's what we got for hail. Kind of a similar risk for wind, and then we're going to throw in our East Coast risk as well. So if you guys are in, once again, Billings, Rapid City, Glasgow, or Bismarck. You guys have a low-end chance of seeing some storms later on this evening. Again, if you guys are in that central area where we saw that orange swath, that's where you're likeliest to get some gusty winds, as well as possible tornadoes with those supercellular storms that are moving through. Bismarck, you just want to keep an eye out into the later evening hours and into the overnight. Just as those storms start pass through, you guys could get some gusty winds along with those. Then if we're moving into Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa again, Des Moines, you guys are on the very south part of that risk, so low end chance for you guys. La Crosse, that's really where those storms are going to be. The bulk of that is going to be moving through the La Crosse area, so you guys are at a moderate risk of gusty winds. And then Milwaukee, a low chance for you. And then last but not least, Baltimore, Maryland, as well as the western part of Pennsylvania, so Philadelphia, you guys are all in the risk for some gusty winds with any of those storms as they really ramp up or as they die out and collapse. All that wind kind of sinks out, so you guys could get some gusty winds along with those as well. Then for tomorrow, we're going to have a similar risk once again for Minnesota, Iowa, and now sinking into the Central Plains. So if you guys are in Minnesota, you guys have been kind of hogging the risk for the past few days. You guys have seen some hail chances yesterday, today, and now into tomorrow. So going to be a quiet morning, going to get some general showers moving through the area, but nothing crazy severe until we get to about 6 p.m., 5 or 6, like the end of your workday is going to be when we see those storms start to pick up. So if you guys are in the far western part of Minnesota, we're starting to see some isolated showers move through. If you guys are in Sioux City area, that we could see a isolated storm move through there. That's when we get those supercellular storms. They get rotating, they start to pull up that air, and that's what helps us get those hail chances with those isolated supercells. So this is going to be our initial hail chance around 6 p.m. And then as the evening goes on, we kind of get messy, start to get this band moving through the Minneapolis area. So with a couple of those tail end storms that stay singular, you guys could get some possible severe hail along with that, but mostly gusty winds. And we got both in play still for Nebraska as well as South Dakota into the 9 p.m. hour. And then as those continue to move off to the east, just going to band up, continue to be messy as they move into Wisconsin, and then we'll continue to see our hail chances dissipate through the overnight hours. So this is what we've got for you guys for our hail forecast. So if you guys are in the Minnesota or Wisconsin region, $1 to $1/2 sized hail possible for you. If you guys are in Nebraska, $1 to $1/2 once again. And then we've got that cold front, that instability, what we like to see. We've got ping pong to golf ball possible through there. So North Platte, low end for you, Sioux Falls and Minneapolis. You guys do have a moderate chance since that's where the bulk of those storms are going. Minneapolis, I think it's going to stay more towards the ping pong ball size range. If we do get hail through there, Sioux Falls, you guys could get up to golf balls into tomorrow evening, and then up into Duluth, $1 to $1/2 sized hail for you. So an active day into today and tomorrow for the north if you guys are looking for severe hail chances. And then for the Atlantic, we're going to continue to see our Atlantic tropical chances pick up over the next couple of days as we continue to see these developments continue to roll. So we've got this first disturbance in the central Atlantic here, and this is at a 70 to 80% chance of development. 70 for the next 2 days, 80 for the next 5 days, so not really a huge difference here. Either way, we're expecting this to start developing as it moves into those warmer Atlantic waters. Then it's going to start to move back into cooler waters and more wind shear, et cetera, and then it's going to start to die out a little bit. But this still has a chance of being a tropical depression in the next, or a tropical depression over the next couple of days. Could be a next named storm, then probably going to move up into the central Atlantic, not really bothering anyone, fortunately. Then it's going to dissipate. Then for our next storm here, we got a 50 to 60% chance of development just because it already is in those cooler waters, already isn't in a super conducive environment for development further. So it's going to continue to move eastward through the Atlantic. Again, fortunately not really bothering anyone. We have a 50% chance of development over the next 2 days and then a 60% over the next 5 days. So nothing crazy with either of these two. But then we do have now Tropical Storm Ida Is it now a hurricane? Okay, Frank's telling me it's now a hurricane. So this is Hurricane Ida, now south of Cuba right now. Yeah, we do have Category 1 hurricane now. So we're at 75 miles an hour. That is our minimum threshold for a Category 1 hurricane. So we do now have a hurricane moving into Cuba and now going to get ready to move into the Gulf of Mexico. So this is a new development here. So moving northwest at 15 miles an hour, 987 for its central pressure, continuing to lower as it strengthens. And that's going to continue to move northwestward into the Gulf here. So moving into Cuba later this afternoon, 75 miles an hour, not really going to strengthen much as it moves over land. It does have a very short amount of time over land, and that's really what we need for it to weaken. And then it's going to move back into that Gulf where we got that warm bath water sitting at almost 90 degrees. So we're at 85 miles an hour Saturday morning, still a Cat 1 range. Then by Saturday evening, 105 miles an hour, still in Category 1 range. We need 111 for it to be Category 2, and it looks like we've got that by Sunday morning. And then, again, these waters are about 90 degrees south of New Orleans, so we're looking at it intensifying into possibly a Category 3 major hurricane by Sunday afternoon into the 120 miles an hour range. And we could see some possible impacts with this as it makes landfall, possibly in the Louisiana area. So if you guys are in Louisiana, if you guys are in specifically the Baton Rouge area, all the way from Lafayette into Baton Rouge, that's where it's looking like it's likeliest to make landfall at this point. We still do have time for this to develop and the track to shift, the intensity to change. However, this is what we're looking at this moment. So you guys do, if you're in that area, you do want to stay very tuned into your weather for the next couple of days as it gets ready to make landfall on Sunday, because if this does make landfall as a Category 3 hurricane, we could get some potential impacts with that. Then as it moves inland, it's going to quickly dissipate over that dry land air, and fortunately, as it moves off into the Ohio Valley area, it should weaken by, let's see, this is going to be by Tuesday at 7 a.m. This should continue to weaken by to 35 miles an hour and should not be bothering anyone by the time it gets there. So then I want to show you guys our wind speed forecast as well as our rainfall forecast. So if you guys are in the area, I'm going to pull my IFB up here, but if you guys are in, my IFB is falling off. If you guys are in Huma, it is going to be 74 miles an hour by Sunday at 1 p.m. 65 if you guys are in Morgan City, 48 in New Iberia, and this is before it makes landfall here. This is just when it's starting to move on shore. So if you guys are in Baton Rouge, you're sitting in 40s. So really the only people that are in the severe range are going to be Morgan City and Houma, I believe, by Sunday at 1 p.m. But then it does make landfall Sunday at 10 p.m. That's when it's currently projected. So again, this is all subject to change. You want to stay very tuned to the weather if you are in this area, because this is subject to change. It is a constantly developing situation. But if it's Sunday by 10 p.m., if you are in Houma, we are expecting 117 mile an hour winds. This did decrease a little bit from this morning. It was at 123 this morning. So fortunately, it is working its way down. But Houma, Sunday, 10 p.m., expecting 117 mile an hour winds. 77 in Morgan City, 89 in New Iberia, and you can work your way down the list. Really not getting out of that severe range until we get out towards Alexandria and Lake Charles. That's going to continue to move northwards though. So if you guys are in Jackson, Mississippi area, Alexandria, 44 miles an hour by Monday at 12 p.m. Houma is now down to 49, 75 in Hammond. So it's going to continue to track northward through the Louisiana and Mississippi area, bringing those severe winds along with them. 117 miles an hour is nothing to mess around with. So if you guys are in the area, once again, stay tuned. Then for our rainfall forecast, this is also going to bring a lot of flooding risks, especially along the eastern side. That's where we tend to get that storm surge, since that storm is moving northward and the winds are also moving northward on this side. So we got storm surge. However, this is a map of just rainfall. This does not include storm surge from this storm. So if you guys are in Houma Monday at 12 p.m., you guys have gotten 5.21 inches of rain at that time. So this is cumulative. This is over the course of the hurricane's landfall and motion up to the north. So Houma's at 5.21. If you guys are in Morgan City, you guys are on the eastern edge of that and could get a little bit heavier rain, 7.81 inches, 6.43 in New Iberia. So plenty of moisture, plenty of rain to go around as the storm moves northward through Louisiana and through Mississippi into Sunday and Monday. So this is definitely, like we said, a very constantly developing situation, and it could change over the next couple of days. We will keep you guys updated on this, but again, if you are in that area, I can't say it enough, stay tuned to your weather over the next few days. You guys can make sure to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. Our team is planning to chase this storm, so you guys can check on our developments through that, and we will do our best to keep you updated on what's going on. And then if you guys want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you would rather at info@hailtrace.com, or check out our website, hailtrace.com, for more details. And as always, we will supply you with your severe weather and tropical chances. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.